Welcome to AmericanDraqon presents Chinese Medicine in America. My name is Joel Penner. I'm a doctor of Oriental medicine, acupuncturist and herbalist, and a professor of Oriental medicine. I'm also co-author of the textbook Zhang-Fu Syndrome's Differential Diagnosis and Treatment. In this episode, we will be taking up a new and very important subject, pathology, or the causes of disease. The Chinese break up the causes of disease into three categories: internal causes, external causes, and neither internal nor external causes, which we can call lifestyle. According to Chinese medical theory, all disease or imbalance is generated internally. This means that if the internal landscape is in harmony, no external pathogenic factor can penetrate to cause disease. We see in our daily lives that some people catch cold easily while others don't ever catch a cold. This can be true even for epidemic diseases. Some people can be exposed and never get it. It can also be true for lifestyle causes. If a person is mentally and emotionally imbalanced, they will not abuse those substances that can cause imbalance. We'll begin our discussion with the internal causes of disease. The only internal cause of disease, according to Chinese medical theory, is mental-emotional imbalance. There are specific emotions associated with each organ or organ system. Most emotions are associated with only one organ system, although there are some that affect more than one. First, we will talk about the emotions associated with the liver and gallbladder, the wood element. Clinically, we tend to focus on the negative emotions since they are the pathological factors that cause disease. But all emotions exist on a string of energy or qi. In the case of the liver, that string is aggressive energy. On the negative side, we have a complex of anger and depression. On the positive side, we have what is known as healthy aggression. Healthy aggression is the liver's natural state. This is the energy that pushes the sapling up through the earth to see the light of day. The liver is responsible for the smooth flowing of qi and blood. It's this aggressive energy that pushes through impediments and keeps everything moving smoothly. It promotes growth. From a five-element point of view, wood, the liver, generates fire, the heart. In other words, healthy, aggressive energy generates joy. When this energy is blocked, what happens? It turns to anger or depression. Let's say you're happily driving along the road and someone cuts you off. Your qi has been blocked and you get angry, so you shout and release that energy. Shouting is the sound associated with wood and is the appropriate response to anger. It releases that blocked aggressive energy. Obviously, you can't shout it out everywhere, so occasionally you need to stuff it. If you stuff it long enough, it can turn to depression. Stuffed anger or long-term depression can turn to heat, and one day, boom, rage. This is a major factor in bipolar disorder or manic depression. So please, if you get angry, let it out. You can wait and shout it out at home in a pillow if necessary. There are plenty of other ways to release or negate the effects of blocked liver qi. The lungs, which are metal, control wood. So exercise or other forms of deep breathing will ameliorate the negative effects of anger and prevent depression. Sighing is the body's automatic metal controls wood response, and frequent sighing is a sure sign that liver qi is being blocked. Anger can take many forms, such as frustration, resentment, rage, indignation, animosity, and bitterness. When liver qi is blocked, it also causes physical symptoms, such as pain that moves from place to place, headaches, dizziness, tinnitus, and eye problems. When liver qi is blocked, it can spray out and attack other organs, most often the spleen, stomach, and lungs. It's like putting your finger over the end of a hose and blocking the water. It sprays everywhere. This attack can lead to symptoms like bloating, acid regurgitation, and stress-related asthma. Blockage of liver qi is probably the primary cause of disease in our society. Second, we will talk about the emotions associated with the heart, which are joy on one end and lack of joy or melancholy on the other. Joy is our natural state. If a person exhibits lack of joy, we can assume that the heart's ability to connect with spirit, or the Shen, has been impaired. This can happen if liver qi is blocked and not enough wood gets to the fire. We then get heart deficiency symptoms such as palpitations and anxiety. Water, which is associated with the kidneys, controls fire. If fear, the emotion of the kidneys, is excessive, water can overact on fire and fear can dampen the joy. This can bring on physical symptoms such as palpitations, heart arrhythmia, and insomnia. Fire controls metal. If the heart is strong, joy will control the grief of loss, which is associated with the metal element, the lungs. If the heart is weak, grief can overpower joy, leading to a combination of physical symptoms such as coughing, stuffiness in the chest, palpitations again, and anxiety along with melancholy. If the emotional states associated with the organs are not addressed, the physical symptoms will continue to worsen. If the heart gets hot due to pathological interactions with other organs, it can become excessive, leading to frequent laughter or chronic nervous laughter. It can lead to prolonged states of euphoria, which then can become mania and exhibit uncontrollable manic laughter. Our third organ system is the spleen, earth. The spleen is unique among the organs and their mental emotional aspects in that it is the only organ that relates directly to thought. In order to more fully understand the earth's relationship to the other elements, when we are focusing on thought and emotion, we need to refer to a different view of the five elements. This view shows the earth element at the center, depicted at the bottom of an inverted pyramid. The other four elements occupy the other points. This shows that the earth, or thinking, is a constant factor, with the four emotions continually moving around it and in constant contact. This means that thought is the constant. We are always thinking. Our thoughts come and go in a non-stop stream behind the scenes, and we operate by choosing to focus on the ones we like and ignoring the others, but they're always there. Thinking is what keeps our consciousness attached to the earth. Thinking's opposite is then lack of thought, which we can call contemplation or meditation. The goal of meditation is to achieve a state of non-thinking, or at least not choosing to attach our consciousness to a particular thought. When this happens, we cut our tie to the earth and our consciousness is free to roam about the universe. If we choose to stay on earth, we must always be thinking. Of course, we would always like to be thinking joyful thoughts, and this is where the other elements come into play with their emotional colors. A healthy spleen fosters healthy thinking. If the spleen becomes excessive because of a poor diet, let's say, thoughts can become excessive and possibly even obsessive. When thinking is colored by the other emotions, it can manifest in all kinds of ways. If the kidneys are out of balance, we will have an excessive amount of fearful thoughts and worry about everything. If the liver is out of balance, we may have an excess of angry thoughts and may wonder why every little thing sets us off. If the liver is depressed, we may have gloomy thoughts and walk around all the time in a depressed state. If the heart is out of balance, we can also walk around in a joyless, depressive state. If the lungs are out of balance, we see an excess of sad thoughts. It works conversely also. If we have an excess of sad thoughts, let's say, it further weakens lung qi and we begin to see physical symptoms such as coughing or shortness of breath. We will see this with each of the organs. Qi follows thought, so if we have fearful thinking, we slowly alter the qi flow going to the kidneys and can eventually see symptoms like low back pain or urinary problems. The fourth organ system we'll talk about is the lungs, the metal element. The emotion associated with the lungs is grief or sadness. Grief occurs from loss. Acute grief over the loss of a relationship or a loved one, if not dealt with, can block lung qi and lead to coughing or a stuffy chest. The appropriate release of lung qi is crying. It is appropriate for anyone experiencing a loss to cry, to get it out. Of course, too much crying can lead to a depletion of lung qi, and then again we see shortness of breath and coughing. We can also suffer from chronic grief without even realizing it. We may find ourselves in a job that we feel is less than our potential. We can grieve about that loss for the rest of our lives. This can lead to chronic lung problems. I have not come across any references to the opposite of grief in my studies, but it seems to me that the other end of the spectrum could be inspiration. On the physical level, the lungs breathe in or inspire and breathe out or expire to keep us alive. On an emotional level, we all know the uplift we get from an inspiration, an unexpected idea. It can change us in a second from being sad to being excited. Without inspiring air, we wither up and die. Without new inspiring ideas, we can also wither up and die. We have these ideas all the time. We simply need to recognize them and grab a hold. In order to have enough will or willpower to grab a hold of a new idea and do something about it, we rely on healthy kidneys, which are the final organ system we'll be discussing. The emotions associated with the kidneys are fear on one end and will or willpower on the other. Fear injures the kidneys. Long-term fear can lead to chronic low back pain and to urinary and sexual problems. We need a balance of fear and joy, just as we need a balance of yin and yang. However, we live in an out-of-balance, fear-based society. The news constantly keeps us afraid. We lock our doors and buy insurance. We are always afraid that we don't or won't have enough money. We're always on the lookout when driving, as we should be, but this constant low-level fear leads to chronic kidney problems. We can now see that our emotions have a profound effect on the flow of qi. Anger and depression block qi. Sadness and melancholy deplete qi. Fear, shock, and terror drain qi, and worry and obsession scatter qi. When qi is blocked, scattered, depleted, or drained, physical symptoms occur. The body also loses its ability to defend against external invasion, which will be the subject of our next episode. So that's it for this episode. If you have any questions, please contact me at joel@AmericanDraqon.com. See you then.